Running is one of the most complex and demanding gestures from a biomechanical and neuromuscular perspective. As speed increases, multiple technical and functional adaptations occur that can alter the way muscles activate and collaborate with each other. One of the most relevant aspects to analyze is how the muscle synergy between the calves and the quadriceps changes. 2. Key muscle groups in force generation, impact absorption, and movement control. Surface electromineralization allows you to evaluate in real time the synergy between key muscle groups, detect compensation as speed increases, and retrain motor patterns to be more efficient and safer for the patient or athlete. Do you want to improve the running technique of your athlete patients? In the link in the description, you have a link to access all the information about endurance. In this post, you will discover how the synergy between the calves and quadriceps changes with increased speed, what consequences it can have, and how to use electromyography to assess and correct it. The first thing we need to know is that when running faster, not only does the stride frequency or cadence increase, but there are also significant modifications in technique. Let's list them. Greater stride length, displacement of the center of gravity, changes in the trunk's verticality, and variations in the support pattern, meaning more rear foot or forefoot. These biomechanical alterations also lead to changes in muscle activation, especially in the main running muscles. At the neuromuscular level, what changes when speed increases? When you run faster, two key adaptations are observed. Knee and hip flexion increase during the propulsion phase, which involves more participation of the quadriceps to control and extend the joints. And ankle dorsiflexion increases, which modifies the activation of the calves, especially during the support phase. Under normal conditions, i.e. the expected muscle silence during running is that the calves should activate more than the quadriceps. The calves should lead the propulsive work, while the quadriceps take on a secondary role of control and stabilization over the knee. So, what happens when speed increases? Let's look at it with two real examples. First, we analyze running at 12 km per hour. Notice the muscle activity. An expected synergy is observed where the calf activates more than twice as much as the quadriceps, showing its dominant role in propulsion. This pattern is consistent with an efficient running technique at moderate speed. Now let's look at running at 16 km per hour. Look at the results again. Here, the activation of the quadriceps and calves is equal, indicating a change in muscle energy. The quadriceps begins to take on a more prominent role, which might not be desirable if not accompanied by proper technique. Our biomechanical hypothesis for why this activation changes is that ultimately we have greater concentric activity of the quadriceps to control knee flexion as the stride length increases. We have a trunk positioned posteriorly relative to the center of gravity, which favors the activation of the quadriceps as a stabilizer and propeller. We will have a more frequent rear foot landing, which limits the activation of the calf, reducing its ability to generate propulsion from the forefoot. This technical pattern, if not corrected, can limit running efficiency and increase the risk of overload injuries in the quadriceps or the knee joint. So how can you use this information now in your clinical or sports practice? Well, increasing speed without controlling technique can disrupt the calf-quadriceps synergy and compromise the patient's performance or health. An upright trunk posture and a well-measured stride will help maintain the propulsive activation of the calf as the dominant muscle. Electromyography is a very useful tool for identifying and correcting these muscle patterns during running. In fact, thanks to electromyography, you will be able to evaluate in real time the synergy between key muscle groups in your patient's movements, detect compensations and unwanted adaptations when changing pace, and retrain more efficient and safer motor patterns. So remember, in the link in the description, you have access to all the information about endurance. See you in the next post.